Hey everyone, we're here with another video, and today we're talking about Etymotic passive earplugs. And why are we talking about them? Because we've gone to a few different concerts and we want to hear all the music, but we also don't want to damage our hearing. So what do we do about that? Getting into our older age, let's say. So there's a few different types that Etymotic sells, and I think from what I've seen, I found sort of what was best for me and comfort-wise, what works for me. So I think we tested this out going to K-pop concerts, so NCT 127, as well as seeing J-Hope as well from BTS. And these were a couple that I tested out and brought there, as well as this one too. So I got to see a little bit about how these work and how the sound quality is. So in general, they have on the back some ratings. So you can see here what those ratings are, but yeah, essentially they have slightly different deviations in the attenuation that it allows in. So just off the bat here, this one's 13, this one's 12, and this one here is 14. So not a huge difference in terms of total decibels, but I think from the decibel readings, technically a bigger difference than you typically think. I got these three because I was just curious which fit the best and also which look the best, different things like that. So I brought all these in the case that comes with the actual product, and I found that one of my ears is a little bit bigger in terms of like the ear canal. So I put a medium and a large one. So I was using those two. But what I found is that the dual flanges actually work best for me. And basically how you can tell the difference between them is this here. So you can see that this is 2 flanges, whereas these in the packet here actually have 3 flanges on them. So you can see that somewhere in there, but yeah, that's the main difference. So 3 flanges there. And yeah, that's the main difference. The 3 flange ones are quite a bit easier to put into your ear canal. It just goes straight in and it's very easy. Whereas the dual flange ones are a little bit more tough and take a little bit more time to actually twist into them. So that's the main experience that I saw from that. But in general, comfort-wise, the 3 flange ones are a little bit too intrusive. They're too long and they just go too far in my ear canal. So that was one of the main things that I noticed, and the dual flanges were just a little bit easier. But in terms of clarity, everything seemed pretty clear. The issue is that obviously when you speak, it's quite a bit different. You don't hear yourself very well. And then the other thing that I noticed is that the overall experience is just less because it's like there's not as much energy, it feels like. And again, this is subjective, so I didn't really feel like, you know, I'm here to like start dancing around and go crazy and stuff like that. I kind of want that feeling when I go to concerts to really listen to the music. So what I also have here are the AirPods Pro 2, and what's nice is that they have a transparency mode, and what it does is that it doesn't completely protect your hearing, but it does let sound in through the speakers in a pretty good clarity. And I was sort of switching between those and these through the first go around, and I noticed that these are actually quite good in letting sound in, but not completely destroying your ears. So it's better than having nothing, but it's not as good as having earplugs in terms of protecting your ears. So that's something that I noticed. This obviously also has noise cancellation, and it also has just the regular mode where it's just passively letting sound in. But yeah, I did notice that the sound quality coming through like isn't necessarily more clear, but in terms of loudness and reproduction, it's quite good. Again, I did have issues because there were people screaming in the background where it would cut in and cut out. So there is some discrepancy there. So it's not perfect, but it does a really oddly good job. And if you already have these, and you're going to a concert, I'd say, you know, obviously if the concert's longer than 4 hours, then you might have to recharge these in between songs or something to that degree. But I'm going to keep the dual flanges just because there's probably multi-purpose uses for this. You can use them while you're mowing the lawn, or you can use them while you're using power tools, and it ends up being pretty loud. So sometimes this can be nice to have, where you're blocking out some of the sound and it's not destroying your ears completely. So yeah, I'd say if you have a pair of these, you can use these. And if you're worried about saving your ears a little bit, but not too much, and not losing all of that experience, these are a pretty good choice. And obviously, I would recommend ones that fully plug up your ears. So obviously for this does technically plug up your entire ear. So when you do this, it can actually protect a little bit from hearing all of the sounds and then plugging in some of the sound here. So again, it doesn't completely protect your hearing, especially for noises that happen really, really quick. It's not able to react quickly enough. So, but again, you still are plugging your ears, and it's not going directly into your ears. It's being reproduced through the actual speakers here, or the microphones and the speakers into your ear. So yeah, I mean, would I recommend these? These are relatively cheap, the Etymotic ones. So yeah, I would definitely recommend them. They're not as cool looking. And again, the dual flange ones are not the easiest to put into your ears. And they're not as cool looking as the Loop Experience 2s. And those were really cool. And then it's obviously a just different experience in terms of like the look and feel. But I found those very, very comfortable, and it's easier to put into your ears than these. But those were quite a bit more expensive. So I think, what was it? Those were $40, and Etymotic ones in total, I bought them for $55, so that's with shipping and everything. These ones were $20. The ER20s, which are the basic ones that don't give you different fitments, you have to actually choose the standard or the large fit, $12. And then the dual flange ones are also $20 too. So yeah, obviously one is cheaper than the other, some is more stylish than the others, but generally I think the sound quality that I can hear from them is on the same par. Obviously I'm not able to reproduce the sound for you, but I guess you have to just trust my word. But yeah, that's sort of what I experienced from these. I think next concert, I'm just gonna try to use these. I'll have these Etymotic ones, the dual flange ones, also in my pocket just in case I need some rest from having that much sound. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the passive earplugs that help save your ears. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we will see you in the next video.